Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Inside Out Smile. I'm your host, Dr. Amber Q, and I've had a bit of a weird experience recently. So in the UK, every year you have to have your car tested to make sure that it's roadworthy and safe. So it's called an MOT. I'm not sure what that actually stands for, to be honest. I know you call it something else in the USA because my American friend has a different name for it. But anyway, in the UK, it's called an MOT. I don't know what it's called in other parts of the world, like China or Japan or anywhere else, Brazil, etc. I don't know what it's called there. But in any case, in the UK, you have to have that done every year. And in fact, you cannot insure your car if you don't have a valid MOT certificate. So I essentially went to the garage to get that done. I have a brilliant garage, so shout out to them. Not that they're listening, but anyway. So basically, I went to the garage and I thought to myself, let me just walk down the high street of this particular place, because years ago this place used to be absolutely amazing. It's quite a famous part of London where everyone would hang out, and I thought to myself, gosh, I haven't been here for years. Years. When I worked in the hospital, we used to hang out at this particular place. I helped build a health centre near there, or actually on the high street. So I thought, yeah, let's just have a walk down nostalgia lane, So I started walking, and oh my gosh, I was so shocked. And I don't even know why I was so shocked, because even in the West End of London, post-COVID, I don't know what, but I guess post-COVID, I was going to say post cost of living crisis, a lot of shops have closed down in the West End. So there are lots of empty units. And then some weird sort of American candy stores, which everyone says are kind of stores that are laundering money and things. So I don't know what those stores are about, but they kind of look a little bit unsavory, if I'm honest. But in any case, when I do pop up to the West End, I'd love to pop into Selfridges and I meet one of my friends there. But anyway, so I was walking down this street and I was just thinking, oh my gosh, it looks like a ghost town. There were two shops there that included one restaurant that I used to visit previously. So it was quite nice to see that was still around and actually looked as if it was doing really well. But it was just so strange. And I popped into the pharmacy to get something for my mother. And the lady there told me, and I commented to her, and she told me that this had happened sort of post-COVID. And funnily enough, she made that comment. She said, oh, it's the same as the West End. And it really made me think, as I was walking down there, it made me think about nostalgia. And also in that area, I was thinking about one of my parents' friends who've now sadly both passed away, and their daughter visited recently, and she was saying that they'd sold the family home. And so as I was walking down the street before I got to the high street, I was thinking about, just about time, the passing of time, how they'd sold the family home. And that made me sad, even though it wasn't my family home. And then when I got to the high street, I just felt so weird. And I thought to myself, this area used to be buzzing so much. And now it's like a ghost town. And I don't know why I'm thinking about that, because I saw a clip today of Celine Dion at the Eiffel Tower and the I guess the opening of the Olympics in Paris. And I just thought to myself, it's so strange, isn't it? Because obviously Paris, London, all quite similar. So obviously it's buzzing in Paris at the moment because of the Olympics. But I don't know, it just, and Celine Dion, bless her. I mean, she has an amazing voice, but she does look quite traumatized, doesn't she? Bless her, she does. Speaking of which, Robert Downey Junior as well. So he's in this, I don't know, new movie, Marvel movie or whatever. He looks as if he's really aged as well. And I say that, and I don't know why I say that with a little bit of surprise almost, because of course he has grown older, because we do grow older with the passing of time. And he's slim and things, but he just looks very aged. So I don't know, why am I talking about Celine Dion and Robert Downey Jr.? I think I'm just thinking about cities, the passing of time, my parents, family, friends. And, you know, it's really interesting because, you know, now they are saying, and I don't know how this all relates, but these are just the things that are going around in my head. But, you know, they're saying in terms of addiction that they've been doing experiments with rats, and you know, rats don't want to have drug-infused water when there are other rats around them and they're having a good time. So the new theory is that if you have addiction on one end of the spectrum, sobriety is not on the other end of the spectrum. The other end of the spectrum really would be kind of healthy relationships. And we know that this is so important. And I just feel that the way the world is changing, you know, there are less stores, everything is moving online. I mean, that was inevitable, but it's really been accelerated with COVID. So in that sense, we're becoming more and more unhappy. And of course, I guess the theory is that, you know, if you're happy and healthy, you will engage in healthy relationships as opposed to addiction. But if you don't have those happy, healthy relationships, you're going to bond with something else, and that will result in addiction to something. Now, the question is, not everyone's going to be addicted, I guess, to alcohol or to others harmful substances. And when I say harmful substances, let me clarify that. Let's just say alcohol or drugs. But then let's look at other drugs, whether it's youngsters who are vaping, or whether it's, sorry, that's my phone, I forgot to silence it, or whether it's, you know, just people being addicted to porn or music, or I don't know, just, or food, right? Food or ultra processed food, junk food. So we've essentially got people that are just trying to, I don't want to say heal themselves, but I guess, you know, that they are, yeah, instead of bonding with people, they're bonding with substances that are harmful. So it's almost like self-sabotage or self-harm because they've had this trauma. And I don't know, for me, it's just all connecting when we look at society, when we look at places. I mean, I was listening to a Joe Rogan clip the other day, and he was talking about Los Angeles and how awful it is there. And in fact, another friend said to me that her friend, who loved the States, had gone to LA and was really, really shocked by all the poverty there and just the people living out of cardboard boxes. And it's just really, I don't know, it's really worrying. I mean, we've got a genocide on one side of the world, and the other side of the world that theoretically is meant to be, I don't know, doing well. We see so many people suffering there in a different way, and it's so sad, isn't it? And yet, how can people fix themselves? Because forget about healthcare, but if you just want normal lifestyle factors to sort of heal yourself, you can't do that because healthy food is more expensive, it's hard to get. How are you going to cook vegetables if you are living on the streets? I don't know. And it all comes down to just the artificial life that we all live. And yeah, I don't know, is this a bit of a mishmash? I think it is. It's just I've had all these experiences recently, seeing the family friend, then I just happened to take the car for the MOT, which was where those particular family friends had lived, walking down the high street, just seeing how dilapidated it was, hearing about LA and how people are living in cardboard boxes there, and then just listening to snippets about addiction. And you know, we know that social connection is so important for everyone, whatever species that we are. And I don't know, how are we going to heal the world? Because we need to do that. We need to do that. I think I saw something when I read about Robert Downey Junior. I kind of looked him up, and he was in Target with somebody, and I'm not sure if he's got some beverage or some coffee out. And it's so interesting, isn't it? Because you look at all these people who have, I don't know, alcoholic brands and things, and these things, I'm sorry, are unhealthy. People who are promoting wine, tequila, etc. as their own brand, do they actually drink these things themselves because they're encouraging their fans to have these things, these addictive, unhealthy things? And that's really quite unkind. If you have fans, you should wish the best for them, not trying to hook them onto your product, which is unhealthy. So, yeah, so I don't think that's that great. I don't know what Robert Downey Jr. was promoting, whether it was his beverage or how healthy it is. But it's interesting, isn't it? So, and it's quite funny when you think of the bottled water or the canned water. Was that called Liquid Death? That some influencers had, I don't know, productized water. I mean, at least that's just water. I don't know about the container or the tin or the can itself. But yeah, so I guess there's just a mishmash of me talking about my week, essentially. But yeah, well, what's it like where you're living? I know I've got listeners just globally, not so many people, but anyway, I do wonder what it's like where you're living. Or do you feel happily connected to others? Are you kind of, I don't know, do you ever go past people who are isolated, or do you know people who are isolated? I've spoken previously about knocking on your neighbour's door, but I think that the things that really promote healthy aging, and we're all getting older, whatever our age, are movement and connection. So really, we should be out and about helping each other. You know, that's a great way to heal the world. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, until the next episode, let's all create connection and not just change lives, but save lives.